to be your guinea pig.
And Joanne had to go through it again.
Did you have to do the whole thing again with me to record it?
So thanks, Joanne. So yes, this is more active systems, manual call points. We seem to have been on the subject of active systems quite a bit, although we did talk a bit about passive systems. As we go into it, we go into fire indicator panels and such like. So today's we're going to go talk about manual call points, emergency lighting and exit lights. So the different types of manual call points you've got, what the manual call points are used for, MCPs as they're commonly known, exit lights and emergency lights. And obviously I've got heaps of photos. Where am I? Here we are. So manual call points, the references, if you want to see, is E2 and AS 1603 and AS 1670, which there's probably a few more Australian standards concerned with manual call points, but as far as maintenance and buildings, they're the main ones. And the BCA is all E2. So you've got different types of manual call points and they're different colours. So you've got red, blue, green, yellow and white. And I don't think I've seen any other colours. The main colours we see in buildings is the red ones, yellow ones, green ones and white ones. And they can be operated in a couple of ways. So these type of ones you just push in with your thumb or with a pen or something. It doesn't break the glass. This type here, which is the older type, is a break glass one. And once glass breaks, it shatters. There's a micro switch which then makes and obviously sets the alarm off. So red manual call points, these are normally located. When I say normally located in corridors close to exits, they could be in different areas depending on the building, the type of building, how it's been designed. But normally located in exits and corridors. We saw one the other day actually behind a customer service desk. So they're there for the occupants to use them if they discover a fire. So you press in or break the glass in this old type one here, or press the button and you can see that there's a house on fire there, which shows that it's for a fire alarm. That's an international symbol for a fire. Press it in and it automatically sets the alarm off in the building, calls the fire service if it's connected, if the FIP is connected to the fire service. And it set the alarm off in the building. Now, with the two-tone alarms, either the alert and the back tone, they normally set the, or Satchi might be able to give us some more examples here, normally set the evacuation tone off straight away because being engineered that way, hang on, Satch, engineered that way that if it's manually operated, it set the alarm off. What's that, Satch? Hello? No. So, and sometimes they set the alert tone off, but in all cases, they call a fire service if it's connected to the FIP.
Nick, with the colours, is there a reason for that?
Just so you can identify them, really.
So it doesn't matter if it's green or red. I mean, red you would think would be the standard colour.
But it's
all right, we'll just go.
Are you there, Satch?
I'm here.
Were you going to say something?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So, yeah, you'll see as we go through this, Lee, there are different colours. The red ones, I've never seen any others, but they set the alarm off in the building. But I've seen green and white ones, and some are door release, and some are door release, and some set the local alarm in the building. But they all should be marked according to their use. Yes, I like this one's here. It's a green one, and it's an emergency door release. Mainly they are door releases, the green ones, but you do get white ones as well, as I saw the other day. So you can see these ones here. So that's white manual call points, and the green ones and the white ones don't call the fire service. So where it says emergency alarm here, it's normally connected to the EWIS system or an EWS. And if someone, to get into the EWIS or EWS, you need a key to get into the panel. So what it's designed for is if there's a problem in the building, an occupant can come down and press that or break that glass, and it will set the alarm off in the building, but will not call a fire service. Okay, so just go through the manual system. So if you have got an emergency in the building, you're going to push that, you're going to have to make a 000 call to the fire service. Okay, so that's emergency alarm, and you normally see them on the side of EWIS or EWS panels. All right, emergency warning intercommunication systems, which Bethany will tell you all about probably the next session anyway, so people understand it a bit more. The emergency door releases, obviously, they're near doors for opening the door in the event of an emergency. The other ones you get is yellow, and they're the agent release ones for fire suppression systems. So if you've got a gas suppression system and you've got in a server room and there's a fire and the detection system hasn't picked it up, or you're quicker than the detection system, like I mentioned before when we were talking about Vesta, you can come out there. And this one has actually got a flap on it. You can lift the flap up, push a button, and it will automatically release the gas deluge system into that room, okay, putting out the fire. And I haven't seen yellow used for anything else, but they could be. So exit signs and exit lights. ISO 3864 has established this type of exit sign. I think it was 2002 or 2006 it came in, and that's an international standard. So these exit signs should be seen for people for prevention of accidents, for health and safety information, basically. And you've seen them around buildings. Now, when they're on the ceilings, like up here, you would probably get them smoke obscured. And if you go to somewhere like Singapore, they normally have them in the corridors on the ground, because obviously if the corridor is full of smoke, you're going to get down low and you'll be able to see the exit signs. If you notice on aircraft, they've got the exit lights on the floor for them, haven't they? Because they're saying if it's full of smoke, you're going to get on the floor and you can follow your exits until you get to the lights, and then you know where your exits are over the wings. Exactly the same here. Okay, and that's a normal emergency light there. That's one of the newer ones with the halogen, with the not the halogen glow, the LED in it, which they're changing for now, which are a lot brighter than the older type of ones. So exit signs, as I said, they're in the NCC under E4.5, and basically it says an exit sign must be visible to persons approaching the exit for obvious reasons. You need to see where exit is. And you'll have directional signs as well. So if you're going down a corridor and you see the wall in front of you, you should see an exit sign, and it'll have an arrow going right or left. So if it's got an arrow going left, you turn left, and then you might see one of these exit signs straight ahead, and that's the exit door. You go straight in there, and you should be in a fire isolated corridor or exit if you're in a multi-story building. In a lower level single story building, you find yourself out on outside. Okay, they should be marked, those exit doors, marked fire safety door, do not obstruct. Okay, that one obviously isn't. I think that was taken in Singapore actually. Any questions so far, guys? No? And they've installed various locations throughout the building. Both are subject to maintenance at different intervals throughout the year. So yes, this was the international standard. They're slowly replaced with the pictogram signs here. So this is the old type one, and this is the new type one. So when they're saying it's projects which, that's right, May 2006, projects after completion of approval after May 2006, they get changed for these pictogram type. They call it the running man sign, because that's the international standard now. And exit lights here, they're in locations such as corridors, rooms. There's I think in the building code, I think it's anything over 300 square meters and got to be an emergency exits. Anywhere where it's dark, it's a bit of common sense prevails here as well. Even if the building code might be round and done audits on places, and even if the building code doesn't require you to have emergency lights, some people say, oh, it's dark in this area when the lights go out, things, because don't forget, emergency lights and exit lights are not only just used for fire, they're used in storms and things. So if you get storms and a power failure, you've got lighting in the building. So even if it doesn't require it, I've always put a recommendation. If someone said to me, oh, it's dark here at night when the lights go out, I'd just put a recommendation they install a few emergency lights in there for a health and safety reason. It used to be in the WHS regulations, but you say emergency lighting shall be provided and maintained, but it doesn't say that anymore. Just says you must have a safe egress out of the building. Anyway, you see here the way they test them. There's some lights. So there's a red glowing light. It could be red, it could be a green glowing light, depending on what it is, but it glows, and it's saying that there's power going to that battery and it's quite serviceable. And the light will be lit up under your normal mains power. So mains power is going into the battery, it's charging the battery up, and obviously then the light goes on. When you test it, or when engineers test it, you can push the test button in and it will cut the main 240 volt out and it will go onto battery power. Obviously, if it doesn't work, you need some maintenance doing on it. Every 6 months or so, they're discharged fully and then recharged. So they're discharged, but the lights must last for at least 90 minutes before they start to dim. And for those of you like taking your loved ones out, where you can go out and you can really impress them when you go for a meal in a restaurant, and they say, where do you want to seat? You can look up at the ceiling, see an emergency light like that, and you see this symbol on it. That means that's a battery backup to it, basically. And you can say, my darling, while we're eating our fat chips and mushy peas and steak, if the lights go out in this building, I'll still be able to gaze into your eyes because we've got an emergency light up there. And they say, how do you know that? I know that because Nick Rice told me. They said, we're going to have to talk to this Nick Rice. He seems like a very, very interesting person. And my love, we could be here for 90 minutes, you know, should it be maintained correctly. Okay, so just that's a top tip for you. Look at your ceiling, see emergency light. That means it's backed up with a battery backup. All right, and they are very, very bright nowadays as well. Brighter than myself.
I didn't know you're into marriage counselling.
I've always been in marriage counselling. Any questions, guys? No? Good.
Oh, good.
Look, like I say, there's quite a bit goes into this, but we don't have to worry about the maintenance of it. All I'm saying is they're around buildings, and if anyone's got any doubt about anything, if they're doing auditing and things in building, you can always pull up the WHS regulations and say, well, I recommend that should be there because it's dark, and I believe that people need to be able to find their way out of the building. Just there's a couple of videos on exit lights if you want to see as well. There's a POM doing some testing of some emergency exit lights there. They're testing different ways. Some of them in buildings now, newer ones, are connected to what you call a commander system, and they can, as soon as the computer can pick up if globes are going off, batteries are running out, things. And that's it, guys. Next week, we will be going, oh no, I'm going to do it 2 weeks' time because I've got to get this session together. And I've got another session which I've got to do for the Fire Protection Authority as well. They've asked me to do a session on human behaviour. So I'm getting that together, and I'm going to turn that human behaviour one into a session here as well. So I'm not going to waste it. So next time, in a couple of weeks, we go through the different types of alarm system, which got collectible, addressable, analog, all that type of thing, intelligent, like me, emergency warning intercommunication systems. Emergency warning systems today are slightly different. If you think about the communication system, it's got whip phones to it. For one, EWS don't have whip phones to it, but can have a PA to talk to people. And I'm going to show you some block plans as well. And that, guys, is it. Have you got anything to say? Sachin, is there anything you could add to that, mate, while you're here? He's gone silent. That's unlike Sachin, isn't it, Joanne? No? Any questions, guys?
All good, thanks.
All good? I will put it up on the web, and I need to stop that recording, don't I now?
Let's